A little late with this, but that's because I've been flexing my intellectual muscles on Twitter. You should follow me there. I've been saying smart stuff. Other people have told me. Ron talks about the news. America says no to the Muslim ban. So there's been a lot said about Tangerine Hitler's Muslim ban. For example, how it's functionally illegal, how it's ineffective at both containing terrorists abroad and in protecting American citizens from actual terrorists, how none of the states banned from traveling to the US are states that do business with Trump Industries, creating a de facto conflict of interest, how Steve Bannon probably wrote the whole thing and either half assed it or specifically engineered it to create a crisis, and how Trump fired the acting attorney general for refusing to uphold this half assed, unconstitutional piece of legislative trash. Plenty of other people have spoken at length about that, and will in the future. And they'll do it better than me, so I won't. What I do want to talk about, what is in my wheelhouse, is the national response, which is to say, first they came for Muslims, and we said, not today, motherfuckers. People have blocked airports, have rallied in massive numbers, and the second time in as many weeks. The American Civil Liberties Union sprang right into action with a pile of lawsuits aimed at either slowing the process down or stopping it entirely. News stations and talk shows talked about how bad this was and how it shouldn't have been done. Some people might, and I'm sure have, argued that this action is about protecting us from terrorists. These people are factually wrong. Not just because barring certain nations from entering the country has objectively put our country at greater risk for terrorist attack, not just because these actions have created a significant destabilizing effect here at home, not just because this is exactly what the people who presume to be able to destroy us want, but because this action does nothing to protect us from domestic terrorists, including self-radicalized U.S. citizens such as Dylan Roof and Richard Deere. The Southern Poverty Law Center touched on that a little. I'll leave those vids in the underbar, too. But to make an already long explanation significantly shorter, suggesting that this Muslim ban is beneficial to the US in any fashion is at best a profound and dire misunderstanding of international politics, and at worst an outright lie. And in every case, this assertion is entirely factually incorrect. On top of all of that, the order is simply un-American. I'm not a fan of Ronald Reagan's policies by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he touched on something very important when he said that we in the US were a shining city on a hill. But you can't be that shining city on a hill when you're prohibiting entire swaths of people from entering that shining city because you're a fucking bigot. And I bring that up because that is at the source of the gigantic response against this action. Trump, and the people who support him, if those people are watching, you may have fooled enough people into voting for your histrionic fool of a candidate to take the Electoral College. But you didn't win the popular vote. And you haven't won the heart of the nation. We, all of us who have stood against you before, all of us who have stood against you for years, or months, or weeks, we will continue to stand against you. We will march and litigate and boycott and protest at every conceivable opportunity we can. Or to put it in words you bigots will understand, we will beset upon you a massive resistance in order to preserve the rights and freedoms of all people in this country, or who will become people of this country. This is only the beginning. Well, this has been a slog of a week for me. But I made myself feel better by getting some Chinese food. Next video is going to be about Nazis. And why it's okay to punch them in the face. Because of course I have something to say about that. If you've been following me on Twitter, you'll know what I have to say about that. At least a little bit. My favorite part. The Nazis are coming to get you. Oh, come on! Like, comment, share, subscribe.